This tomato plant is dying, and its cousin is already dead. Just a few days ago, they looked perfectly healthy. Then the leaves started turning yellow, they wilted almost overnight, and then they were gone. Even worse, other plants right beside are starting to show the exact same symptoms. So today, I'm going to play plant detective. I dug up one of the tomatoes. I'm going to dissect it, checking the roots, cutting open the stem, and trying to figure out exactly what killed it. Because if this is something contagious, I need to stop it before I lose all of my tomato plants. Whenever a tomato starts declining, the first thing to do is slow down and observe. Things I noticed were the lower leaves were yellowing, the plant beginning to wilt, leaves drooping despite consistent watering, one plant declined extremely quickly, another nearby plant was beginning to do the same. Those symptoms could point to a lot of different problems, so rather than guessing, let's investigate. If a plant suddenly dies, one of the first places to look is underground. Questions I'm trying to answer are the roots healthy? Are they black and mushy? Are there insects feeding on them? Is the stem damaged? Are there knots from nematodes? Is the root system unusually small? Surprisingly, the roots actually look pretty healthy. They're white, firm, and well branched. So it's not root rot causing the issue. The next suspect is Fusarium wilt. Fusarium is a soil-borne fungus that plugs the plant's vascular system. The plant can't move water anymore, so even though there's moisture in the soil, it slowly wilts and dies. One of the classic signs is brown discoloration inside the stem. But when I cut this one open, I couldn't find that discoloration. So at this point, I don't think this is Fusarium wilt. Here's the frustrating part. Sometimes gardening doesn't give you a clear answer. After checking the roots, after inspecting the stem, I still couldn't confidently identify what killed this tomato. And that's okay. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is forcing a diagnosis. Sometimes the correct answer is simply, I don't know yet. Even though I don't know exactly what happened, I can still reduce the chances of this disease spreading. First, I removed yellow leaves and removed some extra foliage to improve airflow. I also removed leaves that were touching the soil. Next, I watered deeply. Consistent moisture reduces stress on the plant. Finally, I sprayed sulphur fungicide. The sulphur doesn't cure plants that are already infected. Instead, it helps protect healthy foliage against many fungal diseases before they take hold. Here are some of the signs and symptoms of other diseases that can affect your tomato plants and how to identify them. The symptoms of early blight are lower leaves yellowing first, dark brown spots on your leaves, concentric rings or target spots, and these symptoms progressing upwards. The symptoms for Septoria leaf spot are many tiny circular spots, yellow surrounding tissue, begins on lower leaves, and eventually causes defoliation. Look out for lots of tiny spots in your leaves instead of a few large ones. The symptoms of verticillium wilt are one side of the plant may wilt, lower leaves yellowing. The progress of the wilting is slower than Fusarium. Upon dissection, the vascular tissue will turn brown, similar to Fusarium wilt, but this usually occurs in cooler weather. The symptoms of a bacterial wilt infection are sudden collapse of the plant, leaves remain green at first, and the plant wilts rapidly. If you are looking to confirm a bacterial wilt, cut the stem and place it in water. Milky strands of bacteria may stream from the cut. Symptoms of root rot include wilted plants, soggy soil, and black mushy roots. Healthy roots are white. Diseased roots are brown or black. Occasionally, if you live near a larger commercial farm operation, or you just have some pretty terrible neighbors, you might notice herbicide damage. The symptoms of herbicide damage are twisted growth, curled leaves, and distorted new growth. Herbicide damage will often affect several plants and may be spread across different varieties of plants. Sometimes, if a neighbor or a farmer is spraying during a windy day, those herbicides can drift off of their property and land onto your garden. So if you do notice some herbicide damage, try talking to your neighbors to see if they have sprayed recently, and if they are going to be spraying in the near future, ask them to do so on a non-windy day. Drought stress can also cause similar symptoms as those of bacterial or fungal infections. Some of the symptoms are yellowing lower leaves, wilting in the afternoon, though those plants will recover overnight. If you notice that your plants are yellowing and wilting, always check the soil moisture first before assuming another disease. Root damage could also cause some similar symptoms to diseases that we've mentioned before. Possible causes of root damage are cultivation during weeding, animals, cutworms, and transplant shock. To rule out root damage, inspect the stem at the soil level and look for any physical signs of damage. Right now, I'm going to keep a close eye on every tomato. I'll be watching for new yellow leaves, plants beginning to wilt, brown stems, leaf spots, and if these issues are spreading from plant to plant. If more plants begin showing symptoms, that gives me a lot more clues. Sometimes gardening isn't about having all the answers. It's about making careful observations, eliminating possibilities, and making the best decision with the information you have. Today I ruled out root rot. I don't think it's Fusarium wilt, but the investigation isn't over. If I do figure out exactly what caused this, I'll make an update video. Have you ever had a tomato plant suddenly wilt for no apparent reason? Let me know what caused it in your garden down in the comments. Your experience might end up solving this mystery for me. And if you enjoy practical gardening videos where we learn from both successes and failures, consider subscribing. Every new subscriber helps support my mission of growing and donating fresh food to our local food banks.